मङ्गलं कौसलेन्द्राय महनीयगुणात्मने चक्रवर्तितनूजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलम्. Vibhishana, a devotee in the house of demons. We know the character of Vibhishana. All others were demons. Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Shurpanaka and Vibhishana. They were born of Visravasu and Kaikasi. He was exceptional and an exception in that clan of demons. Nobody else understood dharma there except Vibhishana. Kaikasi, she was a Rakshasi. Her father Sumali asked her to marry Visravasu, the son of Pulastya. Pulastya had another son, Kubera. Seeing the radiance of Kubera, seeing the extraordinary countenance of Kubera, that Sumali, father of Kaikasi, asked her, you go and marry the son of Pulastya, Visravasu. He being a sage, you will have exceptional children. So she goes to Visravasu, so ashram. The Muni was doing Agnihotra and he was shining like another fire. And then Kaikasi asked him, I have come here sent by my father. The rest you understand, by what for I have come. Then Visravasu detects her desire. Oh, you want to have children through me? Fine. And then he says, but this is not the time. Now I am doing Sandhya. This is the time to worship the Lord. But as she sat and he said, exceptionally wicked children, demons are going to be born to you. So then she became panicky. And then says, okay, your last son will be a Dharmatma, a man who would be given to righteousness. So this Vibhishana, we know, advised Ravana against the battle, against making enmity with Rama. But he did not listen. So now Hanuman came. He sent the message of Rama. He gave the message of Rama to Ravana. Ravana got annoyed. So the demons, they light fire. They put fire to the tail of Hanuman. Hanuman burns Lanka and then goes to the camp of Sugriva and Rama and then announces that he has discovered Mother Sita and she is in the captivity of Ravana. So now actually Rama and these Vanaras and the bears, they are making preparations, war preparations. Now they have to cross the sea and come to Lanka and fight with Ravana and take Mother Sita back. So now Ravana is making his own plans. So he was in full court. Vibhishana gives his counsel, gives his advice to him. You are actually bracing for battle, but why say that? You have to go for a battle only after exhausting other options. We know in Sanskrit there is Sama, Dana, Bheda and Danda. So you have not exhausted the first three options. Directly you are going for Danda. I want to battle. You are bracing for battle. You are not a wise man. Vibhishana says to Ravana. So first conciliation, Sama. Then you try gift, Dana. If it doesn't work, Then you go for Bheda. What is Bheda? Sowing dissensions in enemy camp. You send some spies into the enemy camp, and then they will sow dissensions there. They will befriend them. They will feign false loyalty, and then they will create dissensions within the enemy camp, and then weaken the enemy, and then you can go for the battle, then you will win the battle. But without actually using any of these methods, directly you are going for battle, because these demons are so confident about their power. They are so confident that these, after all, two princes, Yakshas, Nagaras, Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, Siddhas, other gods and demons, nobody is actually a match for us. After all, two human princes, what they will do with monkeys? Will they be able to overcome us? Will they be able to conquer us? It's a joke. So these demons, they're all overconfident. Now they are bracing for war. Then Vibhishana says, deeds of valor succeed only when the other camp is in wanton. Means no self-control. People are given to indulgence like drinking and other things, vices. The military power they will lose when there is no discipline. Okay, when people are given to too much of indulgence, the enemy camp becomes weak. Okay, and are already been attacked by another enemy. So now he will be confused because there is an enemy from this side, there is an enemy from this side. He will get confused. Then that moment you can attack. Or they are doomed by fate. That means that time is over. The fate is going to consume them. Their bad days have come. If that is the situation, then you can go for war. But the present situation is not like this. How are you going to fight a battle with Rama? Apramattam katam tam tu vijigisham bale stitam jitarosham duradarsham tam darshaitumicchata. How are you going to face Rama? He is apramattam, he is watchful. Bale stitam, he has the divine power. Jitarosham duradarsham, he has conquered anger. Jitarosham duradarsham, very difficult to face him. Vibhishana is warning Ravana and the demon camp. You underestimate the enemy because you are puffed up with pride. And now, who can conceive the speed of Hanuman? You have seen that monkey Hanuman, how he has leapt across the sea. Don't you understand the power of these Vanaras? Like a small mud puddle, he has leapt across the sea and has come here, and how much of havoc he has done here. You are underestimating the enemy camp. So what harm Rama has done to you, O my brother? You have offended him. You have brought his wife here. He has inestimable number of troops, Vanaras. And so he is staying long. So you may say that actually he has killed my kinsfolk, my kith and kin, Kara and other 14,000 Rakshasas. Rama has slain in the Janasthana. Now that is a reason for my enmity, you may say. But Kara and other Rakshasas, they have overstepped their limits. What they would do, they would go to hermitages, ashramas, and they will spoil the yajnavatikas. The fire sacrifices they will spoil by putting blood, by putting flesh into the homakundas. They will desecrate these homakundas. They would not let the sages do their austerities, practice their austerities. So because they have reaped the fruit of their own action. So saying that because Rama has killed these Rakshasas, my kinsfolk, I bear enmity towards him and I want to kill him. No, because they have overstepped their limits. They deserve that punishment. Not desirable to develop enmity with this human prince. He is not ordinary human being. I seek to propitiate you because my relation with you. I am your brother after all. Follow my counsel and save this demon clan. Vibhishana is telling, Tyaja shukopam sukadharmanasanam. Tyaja ashu. Quickly give up this anger. Give up this animosity. Ravana, his brother is telling actually. Then renounce anger which destroys Sukha and Dharma. Ravana heard patiently to the wise counsel of Vibhishana and then repaid for the night, went back into his chambers without saying anything. The next morning, Vibhishana again goes to Ravana's chambers, the early morning. All the priests and the Brahmins were there, were chanting Vedas. All this morning things were completed. And then Vibhishana goes and sits with his brother again. Oh, my brother, ever since Sita was brought here into Lanka, I see many ominous things happening around. What are those things? The sacred fires, they don't burn well. Even after putting the best of the ghee, the sacred fires, they are not burning well. Reptiles are entering into the places where Veda is being chanted and where yajnas are being performed. So reptiles are entering into means the sign of tamas. A reptile is a tamasic creature, dull creature. That means some great tamasic action is going to be performed. War is a tamasic action, intensely tamasic action. So from that actually Vibhishana discerns that there are evil portents. What other actually evil portents he saw? He saw ants in the oblations being put into the fire. I mean the food actually, the offerings have become impure. When you put that impure oblations into the fire, you don't get the desired result. The milk of cows has dried up. Ichor is not flowing from the temples of the elephants. Horses are neighing dolefully, piteously, with sorrow. Donkeys, mules, and camels are shedding tears. Crows in flocks are making harsh cries. Vultures in swamps are hovering on the city of Lanka. Jackals, hyenas, and wolves are coming to the frontiers of the city and howling ominously. So these are all portent that a war is going to happen. Vultures, eagles, dogs, hyenas, wolves, they sense. Because war is a feast for them. Right? They feed on the dead bodies in the night. Okay, hundreds of dead bodies will be there in the battlefield. Nobody will remove those dead bodies. It's too difficult because next day again you have to go for the battle, right? After sunset they would not do the battle. So these hyenas, wolves and all these creatures, tamasic creatures, they come and then they remove the dead bodies. Natural scavengers. They feed on the dead bodies and next morning no dead body will be seen. So these animals, we think actually they are not intelligent. They are very sensitive. God has given it their own intelligence. They are intelligent in their own way. So there is sense actually a war is going to happen. So these creatures will move around the place when it's going to happen. So all these creatures are coming means definitely this is a sign of war is going to happen very soon. Even demons and demonesses, they don't approve your action because now fear started in the hearts of demons and demonesses. All these days they have reposed faith in Ravana, but now after seeing Hanuman and his action, now fear started in their hearts, fear started creeping up. I think a great war is immediate and imminent, and we are all going to die. You will sense, right, sometimes when death is imminent, like that. Except Ravana, Indrajit, Kumbhakarna, and some of his party, who are full of haughtiness and pride. But others actually have sensed it, other Rakshasas, demons. So Vibhishana is telling this. You may not understand, but others understand this. Because after all, actually, they are on the wrong side of dharma. Ravana had kidnapped Sita. So your own conscience will say after some time. So now actually a great war is imminent. They could see. Now Ravana's reply to Vibhishana. Ravana said, I don't care that human prince. Even if he comes along with Indra, he will not be able to defeat me. He is boasting himself. Boastful. Okay? What? He is no match to me. Then he said to Kumbhakarna, Sita asked me 1 year. Okay? When I asked her to come to the palace harem, she said I need 1 year. Okay, as time is going to be exhausted. But now I am so enamored of her, like a horse that has traveled a long distance. I constantly feel worn out through love for her. It's a passion. I constantly feel worn out. Ravana understands that. I have no control over myself. I am completely given to this lust. I feel helpless. He is telling this to Kumbhakarna because now he needs the support of Kumbhakarna. Rama is going to come along with his monkeys and bears. To fight the battle well and to win the battle, he needs the support. So he asks all other demons, wake him up, wake him up. Kumbhakarna, 6 months in sleep, 6 months only in wakeful state. So because now the danger is there, see, he woke him up. Now Kumbhakarna comes. And Kumbhakarna says, you see, you could have sought my advice when you abducted Sita. That time you didn't seek my advice. Now you are seeking my advice. He says, a monarch who does discharge his kingly duties well, okay, who discharges well, he doesn't have to repent anything. But if he doesn't discharge his duties well, he will have to repent sooner or later. Actions that run counter to justice will soon bring danger. So he told his brother, okay, you have erred, you are on the wrong side of dharma, but yet he gives, some words of consolation to Ravana, saying that, oh, don't worry anyway, I am there with you. I am there with you, I will use my strength. Those human princes are no match to me. I will just, like chutney, I will eat them up. You don't have to worry, brother. Then he says, but though he didn't approve Ravana's action, Kumbhakarna had that much sense of dharma. He didn't approve his brother's action, like Vibhishana, but he says, but he doesn't want to go to the enemy's side. But he said, okay, I'll protect you, I am with you in the battlefield. But he is also actually overconfident about his own ascent. And then the Mahaparshva, another demon, says, why are you so worried? Why are you requesting Sita? Forcefully drag her into the Ganisham and do whatever you want with her. The Mahaparva says that, you don't worry about Rama and Lakshmana and the Sugriva and the other monkeys. Even if they come along with Indra, when Kumbhakarna and Indrajit, when both are on our side, the great heroes, demon heroes, what need for us to fear? And Ravana says, I can do that, but I have a curse of Brahma. What is that curse? Sometime before, he wanted to force himself upon Punjikasthali and Apsarasa. She goes to Brahma and complains against this Ravana. And then Brahma pronounced the curse on Ravana. Next time, anytime you do like that, your head will break into 100 pieces. So because this curse is there on his head, he is afraid of approaching Mother Sita. That's why he spared her. Otherwise, that Rakshasa, why he would spare her for 1 year? So now, again, actually, Ravana boasts of his own valor. So my speed is so that it's even faster than wind. Rama has not tasted my arrows. That's why actually he is, coming for a battle with me. I am not capable of being conquered even by that 1,000-eyed Indra. What to speak of these human princes? In combat, they will not be a match to me. So now he is trying to muster courage. So now Indrajit is there, Kumbhakarna has issued his support. And now Vibhishana is again saying is this. Third time he is saying, Sita Maha Ahistava. She is like great serpent. What Hanuman said, he said that she is Kalaratri for you. She is a 5-hooded snake for you, poisonous snake. You are kept in your orchard, in a garden. Oh Ravana, you don't know whom you kept. You thought you have kept a beautiful woman. No. You have kept a 5-hooded snake, poisonous snake. The Lanka Vinashini, Sarva Lanka Vinashini, Kalaratrim, he says. So, Kalaratri is sitting in the form of Sita there. You don't understand, a fool. Now Vibhishana also telling same thing. Sita Maha Ahistava is a great serpent you have kept here. Same language he is using. Let Sita be restored to Rama. Be wise. It's not too late now. You give Mother Sita back to Rama and buy peace with him. But of course, all wise counsel falls on deaf ears. They don't listen like Nakumbhakarni Indrajitau cha rajam tata mahaparshva mahodarau cha Nikumbha kumbhau cha tatatikaya statum samartha yudiragavasya. Whom you are relying on? You are relying on Kumbhakarna, you are relying on Indrajit, you are relying on Mahodara, you are relying on Mahakaya, you are relying on Nikumbha, you are relying on Kumbha, but all the Atikaya, all these people, they won't be able to stand in front of Rama in the battle. Statu samartha yudhi ragavasya. In the battle, they won't be able to stand in front of Rama. So be wise. Jivam stu ramasya namokshase tvam gupta savitra tava marudbihi Na vasavasyankagato na mrityo na bho na patalamanupravishtaha. You may sit in the lap of Indra, you may sit in the lap of death, you may go to heaven or you may go to Pathala. Sun may protect you or the wind god may extend his protection to you, but still Rama's arrows will follow you. You won't be able to save yourself from that flaming fire like arrows of Rama. This is the counsel that he gives. Then another Rakshasa, Prahastha, intervenes when Vibhishana was telling this to Ravana. What did he say? He says, Rama is the son of a ruler of earth, the son of a king, ordinary king. He is no match for any of all these demons. Katam tu Raman bhavita bhayam no Narendra putra samare kadachit. How that Narendra putra? Why we should be worried about that Narendra putra? Not necessary. The Vibhishana's counsel you don't have to take seriously. He says to Ravana. Now Vibhishana says to Prahastha, Prahastha, do you think you and all of us demons can be a match for Rama? You think we will be able to face him in the battle? Maharnavam tartum viva aplavasya. It is like trying to cross an ocean without a boat. That means you have to swim across the ocean. Will you be able to swim across the ocean without using a boat? You are making such an attempt when you say that we will face Rama. When gods feel nonplussed before Rama in the battlefield, they will lose their courage. You have not tasted the power of the arrows of Rama. That's why you are bragging like this. You are so boastful because you have not tasted the power of Rama. Had you tasted them before, you could have understood his strength and power. So you are not wise, he is saying. People like you appear like well-wishers, but you are not really well-wishers. If you are a true well-wisher of my brother Ravana, even by holding his hair actually, you should force him actually, you should tell him, this is actually good for you. But you are not that kind. You are only pretend as if you are a well-wisher, but in fact you are all my brothers Ravana's enemies. Rama, who is going to engulf, the Ravana is going to be engulfed by the sea of Rama. That means the sea of the arrows of Rama. Nobody will be able to save him then. I tender my advice because I am after all relative and his brother. A counselor must tender right advice and try to protect his master. I deem him to be my master, that's why I am tendering this advice. He says this. Now Indrajit comes into picture. Now all this is happening in this Lanka. Lanka today is also in crisis. In Treta Yuga also it is in crisis. Today also in crisis. So now Indrajit says that, oh uncle, what are you talking? You actually belong to the race of Pulastya. You are born in Pulastya clan. You have no virility, no fortitude, no strength, and no courage. You are trying to frighten my father and glorifying those two princes, human princes. I can face Indra. Even Indra also is no match to me. One single demon is sufficient to put those two princes to death. And now you are trying to instill fear in the ranks of demons. Now Vibhishana says to Indrajit, you are after all a boy. You are a fool. You are wicked by nature. So Vibhishana was very harsh here with Indrajit. You are a boy. Mudoha pragalvo avinayo apapanna stikshna subhavo alpamati duratma. You are alpamati, you are small-minded, you are duratma, you are a wicked being. You pretend as if you are well-wisher of your father, but you are not your well-wisher. You are working against the interest of your father, Indrajit. Only Vibhishana has taken this stand, because he was a man of sattva, a devotee of the Lord, has the right understanding. So most of the times, same in our life also, right? Parents try to advise children, but they don't take. Sometimes friends want to give us good advice, but we won't take at a particular point of time. But you should be able to see who is our well-wisher. Here actually all others are actually, Ravana, who he believed as well-wishers, they tendered wrong advice. Only Vibhishana was giving the right advice, but Ravana did not take this advice. All others actually, sycophants, they just encouraged him to go for the war. Who can withstand the flaming arrows of that scion of Raghu in combat, which resembles that of death? Like a rod of death actually. Don't think they are just weapons. They are a rod of death, those arrows are going to be. Now Ravana is very angry with Vibhishana. It's easy, safe, to keep an avowed enemy in our house. Or even a venomous snake, it's okay. But some of our kinsfolk, if one's own relative works for the enemy, now Ravana is accusing Vibhishana. You are here, you have eaten my salt, you have eaten my food, you belong to my family, but you are working for enemy. Better than keeping people like you is better to keep an avowed enemy who professes enmity towards you or a venomous snake. But I have not done that, but I have kept you. Kinsfolk, relatives, they despise the chief. If you look at history, many times actually, in families only, internal feud, kings were killed by their own relatives for want of power. So many incidents, innumerable number of incidents, we see like that. So kinsfolk are the real enemies. We don't know what goes on in their mind. Sometimes they become desperados, frustrated. They have secret designs. They have their own self-interest. Motivated and actuated by those self-interest, they work against their own people. So it's like an internal enemy, having an internal enemy. It's much more dangerous. And that's what he is saying. Yatha sharat meghanam sinchitam api garjitam na bhavatyam vusankledastata anaryeshu saurudam. So this giving love to these anaryas will not bring any fruit. It is like an autumnal cloud. Autumnal cloud, when it showers, it gives only little rain. Only thunder will be there, no rain will be there. So just like that autumnal cloud, which gives little rain, which doesn't really drench the soil, is the love given to people like you. So Ravana is accusing Vibhishana. Now Vibhishana says to Ravana, you have spoken harsh words against me, but I have tendered this advice because you are my brother. An elder brother is like father. That's why with good intention I have given you the advice. But you are very harsh. Those who have fallen under the sway of death, they don't listen to the wise counsel. It is an established norm. You have already fallen into the sway of death. You are already in the jaws of death, Vibhishana is telling Ravana. That's why, brother, you don't pay any heed to my advice. It's easy to find people who give pleasant advice to you because they try to please you all the time. What we like, they know. That's why they keep on praising you. Let us say, you like to be praised. They praise you and you feel happy about yourself and you befriend them. So, it is easy to find people who give you advice that is pleasant to you, but it's very difficult to find people who give advice that is unpleasant at that moment, but it's really conducive to your welfare. So my advice you may find unpleasant now, but that is actually conducive for your welfare. So Vibhishana is saying to Ravana, but he doesn't listen. Sulabha purusha rajan satatam priyavadinah apriyasya cha patyasya vakta srota cha dullabha baddham kalasya bhutena sarvabhutapaharina baddham kalasya pashena. You are already under the noose of death. What is the death? Sarvabhuta apaharina. It swallows every being. It doesn't spare any being. You are already under the noose of death. I could not ignore you held fast in the noose of death and going to perish like a house that is on fire. So you are going to perish, that's like on fire. That's why. Shurascha balavantascha krutastrascha nararane kalabhipannaha sidanti yata valuka setavaha. Even gallant people, shuraha, balavantascha, people of exceptional strength, warriors, true warriors. Krutastrascha, maybe experts in wielding weapons, but still they all die in the battle because the time has come. Like Valuka Setavaha, when you build a bridge with sand, what happens? Dam. What happens? The dam will push away the bridge, dam, and then will flow. Just as the water flows, dam built across a river with sand, it doesn't survive. In the same way, all these warriors are not going to survive the battle. Because the time has come. Parantakalehi gatayusho. Their ayush, they have spent their lives. Their lifespan is over. So actually, death is very near to them. This is what Vibhishana says to Ravana. And then, because it's not safe for him anymore to stay in Lanka, because Ravana said that it's preferable to keep a venomous snake or an avowed enemy than somebody of one's own family who talks in favor of the enemy. So now Vibhishana thought it's not safe for him to stay in Lanka anymore. So he leaps into the air with his club along with the 4 ministers who actually the Vibhishana camp. They liked Vibhishana, they were with him, they were his friends. They also wanted to change sides from Ravana's sides. People, dharmic people, good people. They understood that a great danger actually is awaiting them and Lanka is going to die, completely going to be destroyed. And now so in 1 hour, he leapt across the sea and then came here into the Vanara camp. Now Sugriva and other Vanaras saw this demon, Vibhishana, of a huge size, demon, after all, very good at heart, dharmic man, but the external form is okay, because after all he was born in a demon family. So, but shining with gold ornaments, they could see that. Now Vibhishana and other Vanaras suspect him. Why has he come? He is a spy, probably the spy of Ravana. So all actually monkeys asked Sugriva, please permit us, we will kill this Rakshasa. They have plucked a few trees and they took few boulders into their hands. O king, give us permission, we will kill this demon. This is a spy from Ravana. Vibhishana has not landed on earth, he is just actually in the sky still. And he says that, oh Vanaras, don't suspect us. Then addressing Sugriva, Vibhishana says, I am brother of Ravana. My brother, he doesn't listen to my advice. He wants to fight the battle. He has insulted me. He treated me like a slave. I want to take refuge at the feet of Rama. Please inform my desire to Rama. He requests Sugriva. Now Sugriva goes to Rama. And he says, suddenly a demon has come from enemy camp. He made a sudden appearance here. We should not trust him actually. After all, he is the brother of Ravana. He could be a spy. They will come into our camp, they pretend as if they are well-wishers, but they will spy against us, and afterwards they will kill us at an opportune moment. So we should not provide shelter to this demon, telling Rama that you don't give him refuge, you don't promise anything. And these demons change their form very quickly. They are deceitful, they are very cunning, treacherous. One should never repose trust in them. You can't trust them. You can't rely on them. So Sugriva, actually as a good counselor, actually advising Rama, it is not safe for us, Vanara army, O Lord, to keep this demon, though he is seeking refuge. So he is after all brother of our enemy, Ravana. So we should not keep. That is Sugriva's advice. Now Rama asks the advice of other monkeys. Sugriva has tendered a good advice, reasonable. Now what do you say? He has asked other Vanaras, other monkeys and bears. The monkeys and bears, they said in one voice, O Lord, you know everything. Nothing is unknown to you. Yet you ask for our opinion because you are a great king. You want to honor us. That's why you are asking for our opinion. So let us discuss among ourselves. Let us take the advice of all the wise people here. Let us deliberate on this before we come to conclusion whether to allow this Vibhishana into our camp or not. Then Angada gives his advice and he says that we need to view with suspicion. We should not provide shelter just like that. This is a perfidious mind. Demons come with a deceitful mind and their motives are not pure. So he has come from enemy camp. It won't be safe for us to keep him in our camp. Then Sarabha, another Vanara, he says that. So let us send a messenger, an emissary, or a kind of spy who will interrogate Vibhishana, what for you have come. He will know the mind of Vibhishana, whether it is safe to provide shelter to him or not. So we can assess. Instead of saying no just like that to him, We can assess the character and the intention of the person by sending a person from our side. Sarabha says like that. Then Jambavan intervenes, and the Jambavan says, he agrees with Angada. He says that we ought to view with this man with suspicion, because he has come from enemy camp. He is after all Ravana's brother. So that is Jambavan's. Mainda gives another advice. He also says like Sarabha, that we should send somebody there to Vibhishana to talk with him, what for he has come. Let him be gently interrogated, and let us discern his mind. If we find him is a man of good intentions, then we shall provide shelter. Otherwise, we shall say no. But Sugriva is saying, no, we shall either arrest him or kill all these 5 demons. Sugriva was a bit impatient. Then Rama turns to his great devotee, Hanuman. What do you say, Hanuman? What is your opinion on Vibhishana? Hanuman says that you know everything, Lord. Na bhavantam atisreshtam samarte vadatam varam atigayayitum shakto bruhaspatirapi bruvan. And Bruhaspati also cannot outdo you in intelligence, O Lord. You have that much of intelligence and power, yet you ask me. But as the situation demands, as all others have tendered their opinion and advice, I too will give my advice, but not, to show myself off, and not as an argument, or not actually as a desire. And then what Hanuman says is, no, we need not suspect Vibhishana like this. Somebody has told that actually we shall send emissaries to him to ascertain his mind, to ascertain his motives. But if we send emissaries and interrogate him, he might get offended also. And the emissary may find it difficult to understand his mind, because when they see an emissary from enemy camp, they will not reveal their entire mind. So sending an emissary may not be a good option, I am saying. So he considers you superior to Ravana. He understands your prowess, and he seeks the sovereignty of Lanka. That's why I think he has come. So even if he is evil-minded, if his intentions are bad, you can make out from his face. Hanuman had the discernment, but his face, his countenance is very placid. There is no agitation in his mind. If there is any malevolence in him, bad intentions or hostilities in him, in his mind, definitely his mind would get perturbed, because the fear would be there. But Hanuman had the discernment and capacity to see whether the man has any fear in him. But Vibhishana was a man of truthfulness, a man of dharma, absolutely no fear in him. His face and countenance was very tranquil, very peaceful. From this, Hanuman understands that you can trust him. Hanuman says the advice to Rama, and he seeks the sovereignty of Lanka. That's why he is here. But yet, you know, O Lord, everything. So use your judgment and take a decision. Why, this is my opinion. Vibhishana can be admitted into our camp without any fear. The devotee knows a devotee. Vibhishana, after all, was a devotee of the Lord. And Hanuman, actually, devotee of the Lord. Devotee knows devotee's mind. Devotee understands devotee. Others are all vanaras, very fickle, chapala. Okay? So how could they discern Vibhishana? But Hanuman's discernment is fine and perfect. Now, Sugriva again says to Rama, see, he has deserted his brother Ravana. What guarantee is that he will not betray us the same way? He has betrayed his own brother, right? His blood relative, Ravana. He should have helped Ravana because he belongs to Ravana. That family he belongs to. Instead of helping his own brother in his difficult times, he has deserted Ravana and has come to our camp. He has betrayed his brother thereby. What guarantee is there that he doesn't betray us in the same way? Why should we repose our faith in this Vibhishana? Again, Sugriva is expressing his fears. Now Rama says to Sugriva, so Rama is praising Sugriva. Nobody who has not studied scriptures will be able to give this kind of advice. You have studied scriptures and you have served elders. That's why you are giving this wise advice, Sugriva. But listen to my judgment, listen to my understanding and assessment of the situation. Kinsfolk are kings. They have to doubt. Kings have to doubt their own kinsfolk, because sometimes an internal enemy is more dangerous. Just as Ravana said, Rama also echoes the view of Ravana here, saying that kings actually should doubt their own people around, because they will have some bad intentions of usurping the kingdom, usurping the throne. We don't know. Outwardly they may look virtuous, but inwardly what their intentions are. So there is nothing to be surprised about this. So Ravana suspected Vibhishana, and Vibhishana has come to our camp. So he doesn't belong to Ravana anymore. He is an enemy of Ravana. So because Rama being king actually is saying that, there is nothing surprising here. So he is deserting Ravana. That is understandable. Sometimes it happens. Internal enemies will be there. For every king will be there. That's why king has to be very careful. In the case of kings, a relative, even if he is virtuous, we have to watch him. We have to doubt him sometimes. This demon actually is covetous of sovereignty. That's why he has come and seeking refuge of me. Again, he says that if somebody comes to me, even if he is a wicked individual, with a friendly disposition, asking for my shelter, asking for my protection, and I shall grant that protection to the individual, even if he is wicked. And also, now Rama is saying here, quoting actually, so you won't find, not every brother is like Bharata. Rama is praising here. His brother Bharata now. Na sarve bhratarastata bhavanti bharatopama madhvida va pituh putra suhrudo va bhavadvidha. Not every brother is like Bharata. Not every friend is like you. Not every son is like me towards their fathers. Ravana is talking about himself. Okay? I am a great son of a great father. Not every son is like me. Not every son is devoted to father like me. Madvidava pituh putra. So it's very difficult to find a brother like Bharata, very difficult to find a friend like you, and very difficult to find a son like me. So now you listen. Pisacha, Danava, Gandharva, Yaksha. Okay, I can make small work of all of them. With the fingertip, with the tip of my finger, I can destroy all of them. Okay, so I have no fear from any quarters. Now actually he has come seeking shelter. If somebody seeks shelter, somebody seeks refuge at your feet, when somebody is in distress because of fear, because of enmity with somebody else, you should not refuse him. Kanva Maharshi's son Kandu has something to say on this. What did he say? In the name of humanity, one should not reject an enemy, piteously soliciting your protection with joined palms. Here is Vibhishana, piteously seeking my protection with joined palms, with utter humility. I should not refuse. If I refuse him, I will lose all my merit. An enemy come for protection against his enemies, he be distressed, should be protected even at the cost of one's life. I should be ready to give up my life to extend protection to this Vibhishana. If a refugee is not protected, and if a refugee dies in the presence of the person from whom actually he is seeking protection, all the merit of the individual who actually having the capacity to protect the individual who has sought shelter but has not done that, all the merit of that individual will go to the refuge who has died at the feet of the person from whom he sought shelter. So all the merit of mine will go to Vibhishana if something happens to him. So I have to extend protection to him. Sakrudeva prapannaya tadasmi trichayachate abhayam sarvabhutebhyo dadami etat vratam mama. This is my vow. What is that my vow? If somebody says tavasmiti, I am yours, I shall extend my protection to that individual, whoever he may be. Abhayam sarva bhutebhyo, whichever creature comes to me and seeks for my protection, I will give you. This is my lifelong vow. Dadami etat vratam mama. This is my vow. So Rama actually told his mind to all the Vanaras and all the Sugriva, and then he asked Sugriva, bring that Vibhishana to me. We shall give him protection. And Sugriva says, oh Lord, you're fine, your judgment is perfect. So we will bring him over here. And then they brought Vibhishana to Rama. And then the battle happens. Then afterwards he was coronated Vibhishana, but full of Rama. possessed of Rama. And his prayer to Rama actually, though actually sitting on the throne, not like Ravana, not puffed up with pride, he would rule in a dharmic way. Parama apad gatasyapi dharme mama matih bhavet nahi dharmabhi raktanam loke kinchana durlabha. That is his prayer to Rama. Parama apad gatasyapi dharme mama matih bhavet. How beautifully he said. Everybody encounters difficulties in life. There is no human being who doesn't face, some kind of hardship. In peaceful times, when everything goes smooth, we can follow dharma very easily. When tough situations come, when difficult circumstances, times are bad, things are going against us, will you be able to practice dharma? No. We become weak, right? We lose strength. But here Vibhishana is saying to Rama, Parama apad gatasyapi. I may be in the midst of extreme adversity, extreme misery. Dharme mama matih bhaved. May my mind not deviate from the path of dharma. Ordinary circumstances, everything going smooth, we can easily follow dharma. Most challenging times, toughest times, painful moments. God actually makes us pass through many tests. Can I pass the test? Will I have the strength? So grant me that strength. Whatever may be the situation, extreme adversity, extreme miserable moments, still my mind should hold on to dharma and dharma and dharma alone. Grant me this boon, O Lord, he says to Rama. Rama says, Tathastu. So, goodness actually is not specific to clan. Goodness is not specific to time. Goodness is not specific to gender. Goodness is not specific to religion. We need to understand this. Today, the reason for all the conflict in the world is, if you just see, people following one faith because they huddle together and they say the people of other faith are all bad. Is it the truth? Can you make a statement like this? Or can you make a statement like that? All women are good and all men are bad? Or all men are bad and all women are good? Vice versa? All women are good, all men are bad? All men are good, all women are bad? Can you make a statement like this? No. All the people who lived in the past were good, all the people who are living in the present are bad. In the past also there were good people and bad people. Now also there are good people and bad people. So all the educated people are good, all the uneducated people are bad, can we say? You know better, right? So these things, goodness actually has nothing to do with these things. Goodness is not specific to region. Goodness is not specific to religion. Goodness is not specific to gender. Goodness is not specific to times. Every situation, every time, and every gender. In every religion there are good people and bad people. So like that, Vibhishana, though born in demon clan, he was a dharmatma, punyatma, he knew dharma. So we have to judge people according to their swabhava. So we have to befriend them. It's very difficult to get holy company and good company, good friend who gives us right advice when we are in difficult times. Because generally we choose friends according to our own taste. Okay, that's the wrong thing we do in life. Somebody who can help me to practice little more dharma, little more morality. We have to befriend such people who are wiser than us, who are little more passionate about dharma. So their company benefits us, helps us. Otherwise, by falling into wicked company, we become further wicked. We lose our life. So we have to be on our guard with regard to the friends and the well-wishers that we choose in our life. So Vibhishana, a great devotee of the Lord, an exceptional human being. So with this, my Ramayana talks have come to a close. 14 talks on lessons from Ramayana, just to generate little interest in you in this great epic. Not to elaborate and not to explain the whole of Ramayana. Daily to this, wonderful discussions and debates, arguments, counsels of wisdom. Yes, a very repository, a mine of wisdom. You have to read these scriptures daily. Then what happens? You'll fall in love with Rama. To fall in love with Rama means to fall in love with truthfulness. To fall in love with Rama means to fall in love with dharma. You'll become very passionate. I must practice dharma. I must be truthful. That's how actually we need to worship. Invariably we fall in love with. That's how actually our rishis have created the characters. So the quality, they actually, and the person are inseparable. So when you love the person, the quality that the person had embodied will sooner or later will manifest through you also. That's why it's important. Nobody can read Ramayana without falling in love with Rama. So to fall in love with Rama means to fall in love with dharma and truthfulness. That way it will benefit us, and that is the true way to worship Rama. So let us stop here. Next week also I will take, as our Adhyaksha Maharaj, Swami Bodhamayananji won't be there. From 14th onwards, Swami Bodhamayananji will be conducting this Sunday class. So let us meditate for 2 minutes before we disperse. Om